All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. It was actually a boring day in the market. It was kind of a blessing. We didn't wake up to any craziness. There was a bond auction. Wasn't that bad. A little bit of data with the ECI, and it actually went down, which is a good sign for inflation. And NVDA, they were kind of all over the place, but if they were reacting to any news, it was like the same China news from yesterday, and then everybody was talking about the whole UNH thing. So it wasn't that wild, but it makes sense. We have the CPI tomorrow, so I have that breakdown for you. We are going to talk about it because it's kind of tricky. I don't think the breakdown and how it's going to play tomorrow is going to be the hard part, but you just got to be patient because tomorrow is all about the Fed and what it means for the final Fed meeting of the year. So I got all that for you. I got the plays. There was a lot of news, and we got a couple of things to talk about. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. We will see you there in the morning, baby. Run it.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
But right off the bat, like I told you, there was no real action today on the market. Yeah, we went down again. We were actually up most of the day, even the Russell. It was kind of those late day moves, but like we talked about yesterday, you're back where you were at like 1 or 2 Mondays ago. Remember that little extra 100-point melt up? Even if we start to slowly go down 100 points after 3 or 4 days, we are right back to where we started, and now tomorrow is Catalyst Day. Now, here's the thing. Tomorrow, is it going to be important? Yes and no. Tomorrow is a promise for a future catalyst. The event for the CPI tomorrow, it is only pricing in 0.5% on the S&P 500. We talked about this on stream today. I don't know if you guys remember, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, CPI was a 2%, 3% day, 1% at minimum. Given the way the whole CPI chart is played out, we're going to go over it here in a little bit. That time has now passed. You are really getting small moves on the CPI because no matter what happens from here, the market can really absorb almost any surprise. Remember, like I told you, Wall Street is very stubborn. Yeah, it is worried about inflation in the future, but no one's going to panic until they see it, right? Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes. That's pretty much how inflation is going to be. So even if tomorrow is an upside surprise, it will be easy to brush it off with enough time. And then if it's a downside surprise, well, that's going to be easy. So as far as tomorrow is concerned, what you should be looking for, bond market rate cut odds. Obviously, it will tell you a little bit more about the story, but again, how much do you even trust the data? It's not like we're really going off of, the inflation. No, we're going off whatever Jerome Powell is going to do, or at the very least, that is going to be the narrative that they set up. So watch those rate cut odds tomorrow. The odds right now are almost fairly certain for a rate cut in December and literally about a week. So if there is a surprise, that will change. Otherwise, tomorrow, you might hear that phrase where people saying blah, 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 still cements a December rate hike. So keep that in mind. That is the first key. And now let's talk a little bit about what is expected. Now, I don't know if I put it up here. The expectations for tomorrow, it's 0.3 month over month on both the headline and core. So pretty much regardless of energy or excluding it, the used cars, all these other factors, people are expecting core and headline to move the same. Now, here's a little fun fact. 2 Novembers in the last 5 years since 2019 have seen an increase in the CPI. The other 3, November is actually pretty good in terms of going down. So that's the good news, but I do the math. That's only like 60% or something. Not that telling, so we'll find out. But this is what you guys cannot forget. I will remind you every time because this is what I'm trying to show you where it's like, yeah, we're not getting the same moves on the CPI because you're no longer at this elevated stance. Honestly, just pull the chart back even further. We're not doing this dance and, is it coming up? It's still elevated. It's like you are a long way down from the bottom. So that's why I'm telling you, any sort of upside move, it's not going to cause the same panic that you have seen before in the past. But take a look here. This is the core chart. Now, I wrote it down on the keys, and this is what got people kind of freaking out last time and a little bit worried. You got to realize there is also that narrative in the future that tariffs can bring back inflation. So this core chart, yeah, it shows it going down. Yeah, it's at the bottom, but that's the problem. People are fearful that the core inflation has bottomed out and now it's going to start running from here. And if that happens, if this chart and core inflation starts to prove sticky, so we are expected to be at like 3.3 tomorrow, but this goes any higher and doesn't go down, people are going to start talking about the 70s because you start pulling it up on the line chart. I mean, this is playing almost exactly like the 70s. You know, you had your little pop, now you come up, but then if it starts to twirl back up or curl back up, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, you do your technicals, but point is that's going to start getting a lot more scarier, especially with policy uncertainty and all of that. So that's what you got to watch out for. And like I just told you here, if you get a downside surprise tomorrow, that's a softball that everyone's going to love it. I mean, take a look, market's already near all-time highs. Yeah, we sold off a little bit, but if that core chart starts to go down even more and you could kind of destroy that 1970s narrative, that's easy coming into the next year. People would love that. So that reaction is going to be easy. I don't think you need to worry about a downside surprise. Even if it's one where it's a big downside surprise, I don't think people will worry about the economy. People are going to love that. So that's easy if you get that tomorrow. All you got to worry for is if that core chart starts looking ugly and then we get an upside print. So 0.3, watch the month over month, and then the year over year again, anything pretty much higher than I believe like 3.3 on the core, and then we will see where that takes us. But that is key number 2. And then the final thing, man, I've been saying it here, thank God for slow days. I don't know. You tell me, man. It's funny because I feel like when the market just melts up 13 out of 14 green days, people get mad. They're like, it won't go down. The economy. How you doing this? Everything. And then like right when it starts to slow down, everyone's like, I don't know why I wanted it to slow down. Every play, even the calls and the puts, and now it's so boring. So I don't know, man. Take it as it comes in. We've had a lot of crazy days here in the market. It's nice when the market isn't reacting to something huge globally, but also right now too, before you know it, yeah, we got our final CPI tomorrow, then it's Powell next week, and then, dude, it is totally the holiday season, so don't get chopped up during this time. Get some swings and ride it. Don't forget about your long term. And remember, it's lower volume, low liquidity still, and people are waiting for next year, and they're already getting ready and positioning, but not much is changing till there. And then once we get rid of all of our catalysts, it's only going to be all eyes on the overseas. So Merry Chrism. We'll see where it takes us. But now, let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, I got a couple of different plays. In the first one, we got to start out with the chips, baby. So, both NVIDIA and Intel, I think these will be interesting to watch. So, obviously, I'm going to start with Intel because this is one we saw the headlines back and forth. That rumor about them selecting CEO has not came true yet. We have no idea who is going to lead this company. And then even after hours, Intel got negative news. Well, Jim Cramer said he doesn't like it, so maybe it's positive, but Intel's credit rating by S&P, it was downgraded to BBB from BBB+, and they noted the challenges with the new CEO. I honestly think if they got a new CEO in place, they may have been able to avoid this, but the longer they wait, the more uncertain people are going to get. And that's it. We're waiting for an upside catalyst. We're waiting to get that info. Until then, it seems like it's going to be death. It did break to that $19 today. I think $18.50 or $18.30 is the low. Watch in between there. So it's both the death play as well as the upside once we get that catalyst. And then NVIDIA, this one's very interesting because, like I'm telling you today, it has the ability to hold up and lead the market. And it was doing good, but then the news it reacted to was the China negative news from yesterday. You even got some tweets from analysts and all of that, but fact of the matter is, go look at the chart. I mean, you hit this level of NVIDIA 6 months ago. It really has not done much. I know this is the star child of the whole entire AI thing, but I wonder if people are getting antsy. It's starting to still underperform. A couple of other tech names picked back up, but like we're saying, Mag 7 or S&P 7 or S&P 493, but S&P 7 still holding up, but it's not like it is making the same growth and advancements that we've seen over over the last 6 months. Maybe you'll never see that again unless we start seeing crazier earnings, guidance, and all of that. But I think both of these, the whole chip industry, if we are going to get any action until the end of the year, this is still going to be one to watch. So keep your eyes out for both ends of the spectrum, the outperformers all the way down to the underperformers. I would definitely be watching that. That is play number one. Then play number two. This one's interesting. RGTI. This one was after the bell. They got some news about a quantum computing breakthrough using NVIDIA chips, IonQ. Even there's like another one. Was it like Serve and like robotics? But the whole point is, man, that Bitcoin news yesterday, or Google was talking about quantum. Bitcoin reacted a little bit, but there's low-key mini hype. I would watch if this kind of turns into a mini bubble. If people, like, there's so many narratives from the quantum stuff. We talked about it a little bit today, but the fact of the matter is, if this quantum narrative starts getting hype, anybody saying, oh, we got a quantum breakthrough, they may do those pop and drops until everybody runs out of the hype. So watch out for it. Let's see how that one develops, but that's play number two. And then finally, this one's kind of interesting, Illumina. So I think this is an interesting company. They even have some cancer exposure, and we'll talk about that. But it's just one idea that I had because I was telling you about biotechs for the long duration trade. Out of any of the Trump trades, that's still one that I haven't made. And again, bonds are still a little sticky there, but remember that RFK meeting with the Pfizer and people were talking about the cancer drugs. There were some names that have good cancer exposure and they didn't move. Illumina's kind of been pinned. This is one of them, but I think there's a lot of other names out there. And what I'm starting to think is maybe individual names instead of the index, but the index will be safer. But then again, it's still kind of expensive there. Hasn't really formed a good play like some of the other ARCs, BETOs, KRE, and all of that. So going to be watching that out. It's still on my radar, so we'll see where it plays out. But those are the main plays. As far as everything else, I made two really small plays today. I don't know, maybe holidays, the algos took a day off. I got really cheap plays. I cannot remember the last time I got a play for 1 penny. So Walgreens, there was news of them getting taken private. So literally a buyout. It's actually crazy because in like 2019, they rejected a $70 billion buyout when they were worth $50 billion. And today they were at $7.5 billion market cap. So there's a lot of room, or who knows, because, again, they've done very bad, but we don't know the full terms of the deal. So the pricing, this is all a risk. But I got January 27.5 calls at 1 cent. I think this puts them at like a $30 or $40 billion valuation. So it's still a little out there, but we'll see what happens. Again, literally $10 exposure and a buyout rumor. I'm down. So we'll see where that takes us. But again, closer to the money's better. We did call out a couple of those while I made this trade live on stream, but that is play number one. Then play number two, Kroger. We got the news of the deal getting blocked, Albertsons and Kroger, by the judge, and Kroger went up. Somebody asked on stream, they're like, why would Kroger go up? You see this happen sometimes. If you can't buy a company, sometimes the company that was going to purchase them rockets up because shareholders are like, yeah, you're not going to dump a bunch of our money on this company, so now that means you're going to have better cash flow, better assets, all of that, so they get excited. So that's what happened in this case. I grabbed about like 2-week contracts, so I didn't have as much time. Crazy out of the money, 75 calls. But I got 2 of them at 2 cents. They all like went up instantly. What happened with both of these stocks, actually, let me tell you, because I'm very surprised I got filled at these low prices. They both got halted. So what I did is I found these contracts while they were halted, and I put my limit orders in while they were halted, and then right when they got unhalted, they just hit. So like I'm saying, I spent $14 for both of these. They both got some buyout, no buyout activity. So we'll see where it takes us. But that is all that I did. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for the bonds as well, too, for tomorrow. You get our CPI. Don't forget about Powell, but it should be an exciting one. And we'll see what happens all around the world. There may be a drone or UFO. I don't know, man, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, it's hope, baby. That's it. You got to watch the Pride next year and hope. That is what you need, my friend. And it's a hope of something bigger. It ain't no fairy tale hope. It's not escapism. You just got to go watch the philo, man. But I'm telling you, you got to have hope, baby. Keep it alive. Stay in the game. I love you. Drink that water. Stay hydrated, healthy. All that good stuff, baby. I'll see you in the morning. And, or not.